sort of train the president on how to approach this in a more responsible way.
You know, Laura, the White House also is continuing to dodge questions on the Russia probe altogether, including questions on meetings between Russian officials and Trump team associates. Listen to this from the White House briefing today.
Can you clarify the nature of the conversations that Jared Kushner had with Russian officials and a banker in December? And what was the date of the meeting with the banker?
I cannot, and as I've mentioned the other day, that we're focused on the president's agenda, and going forward, all questions on these matters will be referred to outside counsel Mark Castle.
But how can you not answer questions on it when the president himself tweets about it?
We're focused on his agenda, and going forward, all questions on this matter will be referred to outside counsel.
All right, so Laura, you heard him say all questions on this whole Russia probe will be referred to as private, outside legal counsel. From a legal perspective, what do you think of that strategy?
Well, putting the tweets aside for a moment, which I think is a really hard issue for any lawyer to deal with, I think everyone agrees that punting to outside counsel is a smart thing to do. It protects the president, especially because the special counsel, Bob Mueller's investigation, is just getting off the ground. We have no idea how far it's going to go and for how long it's going to go. And by saying we're going to refer everything to outside counsel Mark Kasowitz, it protects the president, and it leaves Sean Spicer some wiggle room to say, talk to him, let's get this out of the White House.
All right, everybody stand by. There's more we need to assess, more we're going to be discussing. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Why create something this extravagant? Or make a back seat that feels nothing like a back seat? Why give it every feature you could want, along with a few you didn't know you needed? It's simple. You can build a car, or you can build a Cadillac.
No chicken, nobody.
You have a vision. It's behind everything you do. Even when you least expect it, it comes through. You know what you want, and we can help make it real. You need choices? We've got all kinds, including special finishes and papers. And they're all absolutely guaranteed. Because you have a vision, and we have your card. 500 start at just $9.99 when you enter BC500 at Vistaprint.com.
How do we say that this summer, if guests book direct at choicehotels.com and stay twice, they'll get a $50 gift card?
Summertime. Bada book, bada boom.
Got you a shirt. I kept the receipt.
Book now at choicehotels.com.
So, how can I help you?
Have you ever walked into the paint store feeling like you should really know more than you know? The satin versus semi-gloss and I don't know.
Yes, I know the feeling.
That's how I feel right now about all of the financing options for this project I'm doing. I feel like I should know more than I know.
Don't sweat it. We have this new tool, My Credit Options Guide, that gives you a customized comparison like this, which helps you discover which credit options might be right for you.
Oh, this is better. They should make one for paint.
Want to get started?
Sure.
Have you ever looked for a hotel online? Well, Trivago does the work for you and instantly compares the prices of over 600,000 hotels from over 200 different websites. That's how you can be sure that you find the ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
Attention homeowners. Quicken Loans has some very important information regarding the U.S. government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. We've told you about HARP in the past, and we're happy to report that nearly 3.5 million homeowners have already taken advantage of this fantastic money-saving program. But there are so many more of you who could be saving hundreds of dollars every month on your mortgage. Quicken Loans is here to help you save your money. Why Quicken Loans? The home loan experts at Quicken Loans fully understand the HARP guidelines. We'll work with you to understand your specific circumstances and strive to find the financial solution that's best for you. Then we'll guide you through each step of the mortgage refinance process to make sure that it's both simple and easy. And for 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 3rd year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. If you're not familiar with HARP, it's a U.S. government program designed specifically for homeowners who have little or no equity. A great feature of the HARP program is that most HARP refinance loans do not require an appraisal, and there are fewer income verification requirements. That makes it simpler, easier, and even faster. And even if you've been denied for a HARP loan in the past, new guidelines mean that you now may be eligible. Give us a call and we'll give you a Quicken Loans mortgage review. And we'll do all we can to help you save money on your mortgage. It's simple and easy. Find out if you're eligible to take advantage of today's incredibly low interest rates and start saving money every month on your mortgage. Call Quicken Loans today or go to QuickenLoans.com for a mortgage experience that's engineered to amaze.
Dentech knows teeth grinding can feel like 250 pounds of pressure. Stop the painful grind with Dentech Dental Guards. Dentech's snug top layer and protective bottom layer end the grind. Protect with Dentech.
We're back with our specialists. David Axelrod, we've heard now multiple administration officials simply refuse to answer a very simple question. Does President Trump still believe climate change is a hoax? That's what he said in tweets over these past few years. At today's White House briefing, for example, Sean Spicer dodged the entire question by simply saying he still hasn't had a chance to get the president's thoughts on this. You're laughing. Do you buy that excuse?
No, I don't think anybody buys that excuse. Plainly, the White House doesn't want to answer that question because either way they go, they buy themselves some trouble. If the president walks away from his past statements, calling climate change a hoax and general skepticism about the issue, he antagonizes his base. If he reiterates that position, then he brings another firestorm down on himself. So they've chosen this very awkward netherworld, and they've sent the human pincushion, Sean Spicer, out there to say, after getting 2 days of questions about this, that, gee, I hadn't gotten a chance to ask the president that question on the day that he absents the United States from the most significant climate change agreement in global history. I mean, it's crazy, but I think it's another one of these bad situations where they think it's better to look ridiculous and make Spicer look ridiculous than answer the question.
Well, it's not just Spicer, Mark Preston. Several of the top administration officials have been on television over the past 24 hours. The aftermath of the president announcing the U.S. was pulling out of the Paris Climate Accord, and they've all refused to answer what is a really simple question. Does he believe it's a hoax?
Well, Wolf, because they don't want to, as David was saying, was to contradict what the president might say in 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 5 days from now. And we've seen that time and time again. The bottom line for Donald Trump is that, and we've said this over and over, is that he puts his people, his top staff, in very difficult positions because he expects them to go out and defend the indefensible or not ask questions. We've seen that with Gary Cohn, with you. We've seen that with Sean Spicer day in and day out. And if you notice, Sean Spicer today was very careful how he was answering not only this question, but every other question. He kept looking down at the podium and reading basically pre-written statements out loud. And the reason why you do that is because you know that President Trump is right behind that door behind him, watching every word he says. So, again, I'm one of the few, Wolf, that is in the category of sympathy for Sean Spicer because I do feel like he has arguably the toughest job in the world. But it's also Donald Trump who really should be the one that we're focusing on because he's the one who is making all these decisions.
But David Axelrod, the press secretary to the president, has to have credibility with the news media as well, right?
Right. Right. First of all, I agree with Mark, and I have sympathy as well, but this is the job that Sean signed up for, and he didn't sign up for it unaware of the idiosyncrasies of Donald Trump. What Donald Trump doesn't understand is that he is burning all the people around him. None of them will have any credibility left, and that's a very bad place for the White House to be when none of the people, many of whom came in with credibility, exit with credibility.
But Wolf, let me just add to that, as David's saying, that is absolutely true, and the president himself is losing credibility, not only here at home and those on Capitol Hill, but world leaders with some of the conversations he's had with our allies. I mean, it really is perplexing about what kind of strategy he's following.
But at some point, David Axelrod, the president is going to have a news conference or do an interview with someone and is going to be asked a simple question: do you believe climate change is a hoax? What does he say then?
Well, it's a good question. God knows what he's going to say, which goes to Mark's point, because he could say something entirely different than others have said on his behalf, which is why they don't want to venture any opinion. What you've been hearing lately is, well, it doesn't really matter what I think. What matters is the economy of the United States, the interest of the United States. It's just a semantic game. And, most Republicans, even those who are climate change deniers, will say, well, yes, there's climate change, but there's been climate change for thousands of years. Now, Senator Cotton today said there's no doubt that that's accelerated dramatically in the last 200 years, and you have to assume that man has something to do with it. But look, the president has never landed in a good place on this issue. He's clearly not comfortable with it. So I've gone broke trying to predict what Donald Trump will say or do, and I can't do it now.
Let me go back to Laura Jarrett. Laura, you have some new reporting on an important ruling by the Department of Justice, which potentially could affect a lot of congressional investigations. Tell us more.
That's right, Wolf. This is an opinion issued from the Office of Legal Counsel, which essentially functions as the main law firm for the federal government and the president. And what this directive does is it says to federal agencies all across the Trump administration that they don't have to respond to inquiries from individual members of Congress. Oversight committees, subpoenas, that's a different ballgame. But when it comes to individual inquiries or requests, even from ranking minority members, they are under no legal obligation to respond to those. Now, of course, you can imagine Democrats on Capitol Hill did not take kindly to this at all. The top-ranking Democrat, Elijah Cummings, said to me in a statement, this is not what democracy looks like, and says, look, how are we supposed to do our oversight job? How are we supposed to report back to our constituents if we can't even get basic information? So really causing a lot of backlash here in D.C., Wolf.
Yeah. And that Department of Justice decision affects all of the executive branch. All right, everybody stand by. There's much more coming up, including Vladimir Putin now opening up about President Trump, Hillary Clinton, and more. Up next, why he's telling people, quote, and speaking in English even, don't worry, be happy.
There's nothing traditional about my small business.
You do all this research on the perfect car, then smash it into a tree. Your insurance company raises your rates. Maybe you should have done more research on them.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. Switch and you could save $509 on auto insurance. Call 1-888-776-2147 for a free quote today. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual.